Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra, because we are on a Friday. Oh my goodness me, Derp. It's the end of the working week. As you can see, I've got his royal derpiness perched on my lap here because he's decided it's a bit cold and damp tonight. So we've got the fire on and he's getting every last scrap of heat he can out of me. What are we reading? We are still reading the excellent Haunted Places of Scotland, which is a banging book. What are we drinking tonight, Dad? That's the important thing. What are we drinking tonight? Well, we're on a deux-prong approach tonight. The first one we've got is the Fierce Beer Cerveza Mexican lager with lime. Oh my goodness me. Incroyable, everybody. Just seeing what it says. 4% volume of alcohol, Mexican lager with lime, gluten-free and vegan, brewed in, where does it say? Brewed in Aberdeen since 2016. Goodness me. Yeah, there we go. So my friend Julia is currently in Mexico, so I will toast her in a second. What are we washing it down with? The single grain scotch from Lidl, which is Gertlush, isn't it, Derp? So, shall we crack on mit the ghost stories? Where did we get up to last time? I think we'll kick on here with Cameron's Inn, Aberdeen. Believed to be the longest established pub in Aberdeen, Cameron's Inn, or McCameron's, is an old coaching inn and public house of some character. The building dates from the end of the 18th century and was once known as the Sowcroft Inn. The pub is named after Amelia, wife of the then owner, John Cameron. Oh, right, Cameron's Inn. Sorry, I thought they were going to say that it's named after, the Sowcroft is named after. A bit harsh. The pub is said to be haunted. Manifestations are reported to include unexplained noises such as tapping from unoccupied rooms, a noticeable drop in temperature, uncomfortable feelings as if being watched. I'm not getting that tonight. Lights switching themselves on and off, and a beer tap turning on by itself. A dark apparition has also been reported, spotted in the area between the toilets and the snug part of the bar. One incident is reputedly when a painter working on the premises heard tapping noises. He found when he tapped back using his paintbrush, the same number of taps then responded. Bum, bum, bum. Do you know what? I think that deserves a... There we go. I think we'll have some of the beer now. I think that, because we've got two beers tonight. We've got that and we've got the chocolate stout from Aldi. So slangs me bar, everybody. Waiting for the lime to kick in. I see. I'm not really a lager drinker, but I was expecting that to taste a bit like the lime cider Drew and I had, Check's Notes, 7 years ago, down in Porlock Weir, and that was potent stuff. That actually tasted like a soft drink, and it was only when you went to stand up afterwards did you have trouble standing up afterwards. Anyway, you know what this means, and run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
I've just got to take a photograph of the... Oh, beer hiccups, do apologise. I'm trying to see where am I? Oh, there we are. There we go. Right. Let's crack on, Dirt, because these are all beautifully short. Camis Escon. Camis Escon is an imposing house dating from 1648, which is 12 minutes to 5, but then remodeled and extended in 1840 and 1915. The lands were a property of the Dennisdowns of Colgrain from the 14th century, and the present building replaced an ancient castle. The property was acquired by the Campbells in 1836 and held by them until 1946, when it was bought by the local council. The house had been used to treat Polish soldiers, then as a TB hospital during World War II, but in 1979 was divided into luxury flats. The building is reported to be haunted. I'd hope it would be, but this is a book on haunted places of Scotland, but doesn't say who it's haunted by. What do you reckon, Derp? No, he doesn't agree. Let's have a beer. Slange. Oh, that's lovely. Canda Craig, not Wendy Craig, Canda Craig. Canda Craig House, an attractive baronial mansion, perhaps incorporating part of an older building, mostly dates from 1835, although it was later altered and extended. The lands were once held by the Andersons, but were sold to the Forbeses in 1867. Then later went to the Wallaces before being bought by the comedian and actor Billy Connolly and his wife, Pamela Stevenson. The building suffered a fire in 1955, and it is from this incident that the ghost story is said to originate. The house is reputed to be haunted by the ghost of a dog killed in the blaze. Don't start purring, Dirt. That's cruel. Goodness me. Oh, what's wrong with you, cat? You can hear him. I read a story about the dog that is reputed to be haunted by the ghost of a dog killed in the blaze, and my bloody cat starts purring. Oh, you're a little psycho. Well, we know that anyway. But anyway, cheers me beers in the magnificent Rush beer glass from viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. So God bless the pair of you. And we are going to have a bit of the bump element as well. So Slange. Can't believe my beer mat, my Glastonbury Tour beer mat, ends up being all sticky. See, I bought that in Wellington in Somerset 4 years ago. I loved Wellington. What a great place. Right. Canongate, Edinburgh. The Canongate, part of the Royal Mile, leads down from the High Street to Holyrood Palace. There are many other points of interest, not least the Scottish Parliament Building, Queensberry House, also see that entry, Huntley House, home to the Museum of Edinburgh, the Canongate Toll Booth, and the Canongate Kirk, in the cemetery of which are buried many eminent Scots and one Italian, David Rizzio. The street is reportedly haunted by the phantom of a girl seen with her clothes and hair ablaze. The story goes that the poor girl was the daughter of a well-to-do family, but found herself pregnant by a lowly servant. Her family were furious and punished the poor girl by burning her alive. Goodness me, that's grim. Ugh. That's horrible. Slange. Now I can smell the lime then. Ah. Cara House. Cara House, now derelict, dates from the 18th century, although it may stand on the site of an older fortified dwelling. The small island was a property of the MacDonalds of Largy. The house and island are said to have had a brownie, although the origin suggests more of a ghost, as the brownie was said to be the spirit of a MacDonald murdered by the Campbells, and hence also had an extreme dislike of members of that clan, The brownie was described in one account of 1909 as a neat little man dressed in brown with a pointed beard. Like many brownies, this one was concerned with the welfare of his households and did all manner of chores, tidying, bringing in the harvest, washing and cleaning, and even chiding or slapping lazy servants. The ghost is also said to have frequented the MacDonald's main castle at Largy. The brownie was described as a neat little man dressed in brown with a pointed beard. I bet he stood out amongst all the other girls, though. I mean, it's just... Anyway, make your own jokes up, folks. Carbisdale Castle. Cheers. You see, the moment I can smell the lime, but I can't taste it. How bizarre. Cheers. What are we up to? Coming up to the 15-minute mark, Derbs. Carbisdale Castle. Carbisdale Castle, a fantastic castellated mansion dating mostly from 1910 to 11, was built on the site of Culraine Lodge for Duchess Blair, second wife of the third Duke of Sutherland. The Duchess, Mary Caroline Blair, née Mitchell, married the Duke only a few months after her previous husband died. He had been accidentally shot in a hunting accident. Yes. The manner of their marriage caused a scandal, and when the Duke died, Caroline secured a massive settlement. The Duchess and her deceased husband's family did not get on, and she had to build the castle out with the noticeable and impressive... Read that again. The Duchess and her deceased husband's family did not get on, and she had to build the castle out with the new Duke of Sutherland's domain, although only just. She had to build the castle out with, is that one word? It's written down here as one word, but should that be two words? And she had to build the castle out with the new Duke of Sutherland's domain, although only just. I don't understand that. Never mind. Carbisdale is an especially noticeable and impressive building, and was no doubt built by Caroline to irritate her husband's family. The building is now a youth hostel, surely one of the most sumptuous such establishments in the world. The castle is said to be haunted by a white lady, which has been witnessed in many parts of the building, although the manifestation is not recorded as being especially frightening. The ghost has been identified as the Duchess. Some tales also have the building haunted by a ghostly piper, as well as by a bogle of one of the castle's gardeners, said to have been spotted clad in black with a hood that hides most of his face. The apparition has reputedly been seen in the grounds searching for his teenage daughter. It is thought this is why the ghost has been seen most often by girls around the same age as his girl. The ghost has been identified as the Duchess. See, now all I can hear now is Duchess by the Stranglers. What a great song. I need to go out and buy some Stranglers CDs, actually. I will over my friend Tim. Yeah. Cheers, me beers. Oh, Slange. Did you enjoy that, Derp? Yeah, I think he did. Right. Carriston Castle. Carriston Castle is a fine old Z-plan tower house of 4 stories, which incorporates older work but is now part of a large and imposing castellated mansion. The Dempsters owned the property. One of the family fought with the Bishop of Brechin over land and stole cattle and horses and was involved in the kidnapping of monks. Don't know if any of them were called Harry. Let's find out. The property passed to the Lindsay Earls of Crawford, then later to the Adamsons of Carston in the 19th century. And Carston is still occupied by that family. I think it's Carston, not Carriston. Anyway, the chamber is said to be haunted by White Lady, which is reported to wander from chamber to chamber. The spirit of Jock Barefoot, slain for not delivering a message, is also said to haunt the building, as well as Finhaven. Also see that entry. What are we up to, Derps? 19 minutes. Yeah, we'll get this down us and see. I can smell the lime, but I can't taste it. Oh, lovely. Slange. Carleton Castle. In an atmospheric spot are the ruins of Carleton Castle, the remains of 15th century stronghold of the Cathcart family. I'm sure there should be an A in there. The remains of a 15th century stronghold of the Cathcart family. One tale is that this was the home of Sir John Cathcart, reputedly a serial marrier and murderer. He was wed 7 times, but each new wife quickly died or disappeared. He, of course, got to keep their dowries and property. Goodness me, what was he, a Reform MP? His final wife turned out to be May Kennedy of Colzine. After their wedding, they were out walking on a cliff-top path at Games Loop, some miles from Carleton. Cathcart turned on May, intending to push her to her death, and ordered her to strip so that he could keep her jewels and fine clothes. And perhaps so it would have been, more difficult to identify the body should it have been washed up. And perhaps so it would have been more difficult to identify the body should it have been washed up. May feigned modesty and asked him to turn his back. Cathcart did as requested, and May shoved him from the cliffs so that he was dashed on the rocks below. Well done, May Kennedy. Absolutely first class. Ghostly screams have been reported from the vicinity of the old castle, although it is not clear whether they are believed to come from Cathcart's victims or from Cathcart's ghost itself. What do you reckon, Derp? Cheers. Oh, do you know what? I've suddenly realised I need to, you're going to hate me, I need to open a bottle of beer and I get the funny feeling none of my beer bottle openers are to hand, which means you're going to have to get off my lap. So, which you're going to have to do in the next minute or two. So, cheers, me beers. Again, smell the lime, but you can't taste it. That's really bizarre. Let's just have a quick look here. Do we have a bottle opener to hand here? No, we are going to have to get up and get one, Derp. I do apologise. Carmelite Street, Aberdeen. Carmelite Street runs alongside the site of a Carmelite friary, founded about 1273 and dissolved in 1560 after being sacked by a mob. There are no remains and only the street name survives. The site was excavated before redevelopment and human bones were found, said to date back 600 years. The publican of a nearby hostelry, the Old King's Halfway Pub, reported experiencing a strange presence in his pub during the excavations. The apparition of a friar, an old man clad in a dark brown and hooded robe, was also reported in the adjoining shop by 2 witnesses. Right, Derps, you are going to have to get off my lap because I need to go and get a bottle opener. So, I do apologise, Derpy, but you are going to have to move. So, come on, off we get. Right. Reaches over for the... reaches over for the old. See, I'm getting such an old man these days. I've actually got a blanket on my legs to keep myself warm and also for Derp to sit on. So he said getting his excuses in early. So right, here we go. So this is part 2 of tonight's beer, the chocolate stout from Aldi. Smooth and indulgent, brewed in the UK in partnership with Hall and Woodhouse, the well-known pop duo. A rich, indulgent stout featuring luxurious chocolate flavours balanced by notes of roasted malt. Ingredients, please drink responsibly. Have you met me? Know your limits. Have you met me? I'm just trying to see what the ingredients are. Chocolate flavour beer, but doesn't say what the ingredients are. Anyway, it's 5% volume of alcohol, so it's got a bit of a punch to it. We do love our chocolate stout. And we've got some of the coffee stout down in the fridge as well. Do you know what? We are going to have... Oh, no, we've... Dead Soldier. I was going to say we're going to have some more of my slow gin, but I'm afraid we've drunk all the slow gin. So... Although we do still have here... This was a bit weird the other night. The Beeble original British honey spirit drink, British honey spirit drink made with whiskey. So it's, I couldn't get on with that though. I thought it tasted a bit, not a bit weird, but it did taste a bit weird. Right, what are we up to? 27 minutes. We've almost reached half time. So, Caroline Park House, Edinburgh. Caroline Park, although much modified and extended in later centuries, incorporates a tower house built by Andrew Logan in 1585. although the building was extended and altered down the centuries. The property was originally known as Royston, but passed to the Mackenzies, then to the Campbell, Duke of Argyll, then through Campbell's daughter Caroline, hence the name of the property, to the Scott Dukes of Buccleuch, or Buccleuch. Buccleuch. A green lady, the apparition of Lady Royston, reputed to be the wife of Sir James Mackenzie, younger son of Lord Tabart, is said to haunt. A green lady, the apparition of Lady Royston, reputed to be the wife of Sir James Mackenzie, younger son of Lord Tarbat, is said to haunt the house. On certain days, her phantom is reported to appear at midnight from an old well and go to the entrance of the house, where she vanishes. She is said to then reappear in the small courtyard and ring an old bell. One witness reported how, late at night, she often heard the bell tolling, even when there was no wind and everyone else was asleep. The apparition is reputed to be seen dressed in an emerald green frock adorned with mystical devices. A ghostly cannonball is also said to have been witnessed several times smashing through the window of the Aurora Room. This is recorded as being a relatively common occurrence in the 1850s. One occasion was reportedly late at night, and the witness told how the cannonball smashed the window and then bounced 3 times before coming to rest against a fire screen. The witness called for help, but when she looked again, the ball had gone and the window was undamaged. The same strange event happened to a governess in 1879, and the room was thereafter closed up, although servants still reported several unexplained crashing noises coming from the locked chamber. It is said, however, that occupants of the house learned to ignore the uncanny sounds. We have gone through the half-hour mark. Goodness me. Right. Cheers, me beers. Chocolate stout. Lovely stuff. Oh, that's lovely. Slange. Right. What to report? Not much, actually. You were all caught up on Wednesday's adventure with Reg, where we went from Axbridge to Cheddar, which was brilliant. I think that's about it. What have I done for the last 2 days? What did I do yesterday? Oh, yeah, okay. No, I have got things to report on. So yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. No. The beer burps. Goodness me, ladies and gentlemen. The beer burps at 31 minutes and 25 seconds. Oh, come on, get out. Right. So yesterday, all through the week, I had been cat sitting for my very good friend, Faye. So I've been looking after Batman, her cat. So I'm just going to get the share screen. Here we go. So there's Batman the cat. Of course, I spoiled him with fresh chicken pieces from Lidl. So there he is, enjoying his fresh chicken pieces, which you also enjoy as well, don't you, Derp? Then he had some licky licks, and there he is at the end of his licky licks. Then I was having a good couple of hours of reading Gardener's World magazine, and also keeping an eye on what's going on the bird feeders outside. This is actually an iPhone photograph. Oh my goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. 2 robins in the same frame. Suffice to say, they did not share the territory very long, and there was a bit of a to do. So anyway, and there is the robin again. It's just the robin on its own, and there is Faye back again with Batman. What can I say? What a mensch! What a brilliant friend to have! I am so utterly blessed by her friendship. So, if you're watching, Faye, there you go. You get that one for free. So there's Batman enjoying his chicken again. So hopefully next week, fingers crossed. Looking forward to some chips and Angel Delight as well. So what do you reckon, Derbs? Chips and Angel Delight. What do you think? No, he's not very keen. That's been about it, really. It has, since then, it has been me cracking on with work. I am working on a project at the moment. I can't tell you what it is. But it's an artwork project, and it would have been one that I would have worked on 3 years ago, but that had other ideas. And in fact, I did preliminary work on this artwork project for a catalogue, but never got to actually do the project itself because I was hooked up to a life support machine, quite frankly. And in the last 2 or 3 years, I've always regretted the fact that I wasn't able to actually do that project. Now I've got to do, it's the 3rd iteration of it. Oh my goodness me. I am loving it. I am loving the fact that I'm able to actually complete something that I started 3 years ago. Okay. 4 years ago. It's not the same release. It's a different catalog number, but there's a bit of closure going on. I think it's the best way of putting it. So to all those who have shown their faith in me and let me carry on working, God bless you, governors. Anyway, what do you reckon, Derp? We haven't got any food left up here. Goodness me, we've eaten all the snacks. We are going to have to wait until we go downstairs for supper tonight. Supper's ready. So let's top up the chocolate stout. I'm also mindful of the fact that I still have over there in the bookcase, I think I've still got a bottle of Derail Ale from the late lamented, was it Boxstein Brewery? I can't remember. They were a Wiltshire-based brewery. I actually won a competition to name a beer, and I was looking forward to having that beer come out and mention it on Ghost Stories, and then the company went into receivership. Anyway, let's crack on, shall we? Because we is girt hungry, and we've got supper on the go downstairs. So, Castle Grange. There was a monastic grange here, a property of Cooper Angus Abbey from the 12th or 13th century, although nothing remains. After the Reformation, the lands went to the Ogilvies, who had a castle or residence. An old orchard does survive, believed to be the site of a chapel and burial ground, and also said to be haunted by the ghosts of monks. Any of them called Harry? Doesn't say. Oh, derps. Cheers, me beers. Oh, all that is beautiful stuff. Slange. Oh, we got some fan mail. I'm just reading the fan mail. Oh, goodness me, I can't read that out. Cartland Bridge Hotel. Originally the private home of Captain James Ferry of Farm, Baranold House was converted into a hotel in 1962, renamed the Cartland Bridge Hotel, and is set in 19 acres of woodland. The Ferry family, who owned the house, had a 7-year-old daughter named Annie, who died in a riding accident. The Ferry family, who owned the house, had a 7-year-old daughter named Annie, who died in a riding accident in the grounds of the house. Her ghost has reputedly been witnessed at the hotel, and she is said to be particularly fond of the room, which was once her doll's room. Annie is buried in a private graveyard within the policies overlooking the River Mouse, and a large oil painting of her hangs in the Portrait Room restaurant. Look that up afterwards. Another account of the 1970s reports that of a different apparition, the phantom of an old woman seen coming down the stair, clad in a pale blue dress with a veil obscuring her face. The ghost was described as being solid to look at and not transparent. 3 witnesses are said to have spotted the ghost on that occasion. A few weeks later, the same apparition was apparently witnessed by several guests in the lounge. Incroyable. Right. Let's look that up, shall we? Anne Ferry portrait. Annie Ferry portrait. That's not how you spell portrait, JM. Goodness me, get your fingers working. Right, let's just have a quick look. No, I've lost where the page was there. Annie Fari, not Fairy. Annie Fari. What did I say? Fairy, for goodness sake. Annie Fari. Annie Fari portrait. No, that's not it. Okay, well, we'll narrow this down a bit. Annie Fari portrait, Cartland Bridge Hotel. Right, let's try Annie Fari portrait, Cartland Bridge. Not a Robbie sausage. I can't believe that. Not Fari family. No, there's a photograph of the grave, but not a thing about that portrait. On Croy Arbor, everybody, I will have another look at that after the show and see if I can find something. But we gave it our best shot. Anyway, cheers, me beers. Annie, God bless you. Oh, lovely. In the magnificent United Federation of Planet Shot Glass, again, viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States, God bless you. Right. Cassilis House. Oh, got beer. The beer sneeze is coming up. God blimey. God blimey, he said in his best Michael Caine voice. Cassilis House. Cassilis House is a romantic old house and castle, first built in the 14th century with walls up to 16 foot thick, but altered down the centuries into a comfortable residence. The property was held by the Kennedys from 1373, and David, 3rd Lord Kennedy, was made Earl Cassilis in 1509, although he died at the Battle of Flodden 4 years later. The 4th Earl, Gilbert, had the commendator of Crossrowgal Abbey, Crossrowgal Abbey, Alan Stewart, roasted in a sop at Dunure Castle. See that entry. To persuade Stewart to sign over the lands of the abbey. Archibald, 12th Earl, was made first Marquess of Ailsa in 1831. Culzean Castle, also see that entry, was the family seat from the 1770s. From the 1770s until the 1940s, when the Kennedys returned to Cassilis, and they still live there. One story is that the house is haunted by the ghost of Lady Jean Hamilton, wife of John, 6th Earl. It is said that her apparition has been seen at a window, peering out. The tale behind the haunting, which does not appear to have any historical basis, as letters between the couple seem to be very cordial, is that Lady Jean was in love with Johnny Farr, the gypsy laddie of the old ballad. They ran off together, but the Earl was having none of it, pursued and caught them, and then hanged Johnny from a tree, making his wife watch the execution. What lovely people these aristocracy are, he said ironically. What do you reckon, Derps? I think we definitely need something to eat today at the moment. What are we up to? 46 minutes. Snails we are. Oh, let's top up the old chocolate stout. Here we go. And Run VT and Run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Great film. Nice. Right, crack on. Yeah, bizarre that. I don't know. Did we read that one? Yeah, we did read that one. So, yeah, Cassilis House. Castle Carey. See, I was slightly thrown by that, by the fact that just over the hill that way, a bit like me, just over the hill is Castle Carey in Wiltshire. But anyway, Castle Carey. Castle Carey, an attractive and atmospheric building, consists of a 15th century keep and a 17th century wing. Although it is partly built with Roman masonry from... Oh, the beer burps, do apologise. Although it is partly built with Roman masonry from sites along the Antonine Wall. The property was held by the Baileys from the 17th century until 1730, which is 5:30, when it went to the Dunbars, and the castle is still in private residence. Castle Carey is said to have two ghosts. One is reputedly the Covenanter General William Bailey, who was defeated in 1645 by the Marquis of Montrose at Kilsyth. Bailey sheltered at the castle, but it was then torched by Montrose's men after he had left. His ghost is said to haunt the castle, and manifestations include unexplained noises and an apparition sometimes seen at one of the upper windows from the... Go read that again. His ghost is said to haunt the castle, and apparitions include unexplained noises. Sorry, read that again. His ghost is said to haunt the castle, and manifestations include unexplained noises and an apparition sometimes seen at one of the upper windows from the Lizzie, or Elizabeth Bailey, daughter of Lizzie or Elizabeth Bailey, daughter of one of the lairds, also reputedly haunts the building. She absconded with a poor Highlander, a suitor of whom her father disapproved. Her father had her imprisoned in an upstairs chamber, but with her lover's help, she managed to escape and fled the castle. This was not without cost, however, and her father had a stroke and died. And when she found out, Lizzie herself could no longer be happy, and she herself died young. Her apparition, a white lady, reputedly searches the castle. Her apparition, a white lady, reputedly searches the castle chambers for her father and has been witnessed on the main stair. We are going to have a quick intermission here because my nose is a little bit runny. Not that you need to know that, but we'll be back in a few seconds. Oh, that's better. That's much, much better. Right, we've got some fan mail here. Who's the fan mail coming from? It's from viewer Julia in Mexico, would you believe? So, viewer Julia, cheers me beers. I look forward to hearing of your adventures in the Americas when you come back. So, Slange. Oh, this is going to be a 3-bumper tonight. Castle Coffin. Perched on an outcrop of rock on the island of Lismore, Castle Coffin is a ruinous, overgrown and romantic castle of the MacDougals of Lorne. It is said to be named after one of its ancient owners, Cefn, the son of a Norse king. An old story tells that Bothale, his sister, died heartbroken after the man she loved was slain fighting in Scandinavia. Bothale was buried on Lismore, but her ghost returned to haunt the castle. She did not rest until her bones were taken to Norway and buried beside her cherished love. Bum, 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 incroyable, bum, bum, bum. No, we've done that. We've done that, Dead Soldier. So cheers, me beers. What are we up to? 52 minutes. I think tonight, we might finish on time. In theory, anyway. Oh. Delicious. Right. Castle Fraser. Impressive and well preserved. That's very kind of you. Oh, sorry, the book. Castle Fraser. Impressive and well preserved. Castle Fraser is a tall and massive Z-plan tower house, dating mostly from between 1575 and 1636, and was long a property of the Fraser family. In 1976, the castle was donated to the National Trust for Scotland, and there is a colourful walled garden. One story associated with the castle is that a young woman or princess was murdered in the green room of the castle's round tower, either in the 19th century or the distant past, depending on the version of the tale, and that her body was dragged downstairs before being buried. Downstairs should be one word, not two, never mind. It was said that blood from her corpse, which stained the stairs and the hearth of the chamber, could not be washed off, and the stairs were eventually boarded over to hide the stains. The stairs, on the other hand, may have been boarded over to simply provide. The stairs, on the other hand, may have simply been boarded over. Let's read this properly. The stairs, on the other hand, may have been boarded over simply to provide greater comfort. Other unexplained events include the sound of piano music and voices coming from the apparently empty hall, and the apparition of a woman in a long black gown said to be Lady Blanche Drummond, wife of Colonel Frederick Mackenzie, who died in 1874, and seen in the upper chambers of the castle. And is seen in the upper chambers of the castle. Spooky manifestations are also reputed to have been witnessed in the dining room and east wing. These have been associated the ghost. There should be a with there. These have been associated with the ghost of Mrs. Theodora Mackenzie Fraser, the second wife of Colonel Mackenzie, as she apparently spent much of her time in these areas. Not only am I reading the ghost stories tonight, I'm proofreading them. What do you reckon, Dirk? Yeah, it's almost like I do write for a living. Anyway, cheers, me beers. Slange. Do you know what? We are going to have some more of this Beeble. Apparently, it's a Scotch with honey in it, but I didn't rate it. Sorry, I'm trying to get the blessed cork off. There we go. Smells lovely. But Yeah, well, play it by ear. Castle Grant, Castle Fraser, Castle Grant, Castle Cary Grant. There we go. Bedminster's famous son. Castle Grant is an impressive Z-plan tower house incorporating work from the 15th century with lower wings enclosing a paved courtyard. This was chief seat of the Grants, and they were Hanoverians and fought against the Jacobites in both the 1715 and 1745-46 risings, although the castle was occupied by Jacobites. Castle Grant is reputedly haunted by the ghost of Lady Barbara Grant, daughter of a 16th century laird. She was imprisoned in a dark closet off an upper bedroom in the old. She was imprisoned in a dark closet off an upper. Read that properly. She was imprisoned in a dark closet off an upper bedroom in the old part of the castle known as Barby's Tower. She had fallen in love with a man of low station. She had fallen in love with a man of low station, a suitor considered unsuitable by her father, who chose another husband for her. Barbara died of a broken heart and ill treatment. Barbara died of a broken heart and ill treatment after the captivity lengthened, choosing death rather than marriage to a man she did not love. Her small ghost is said to appear from behind tapestries concealing the closet and cross the bedroom, stopping to wash her hands, then disappearing through the doorway leading to the turnpike stair. During recent renovation, workmen are said to have heard unexplained footsteps, cries, and disembodied voices, and the sound of a door opening and closing. They are reputed to have been so scared that they fled the building. Okay, so during a recent renovation, workmen, should be one word, workmen are said to have heard unexplained. I don't want to keep proofreading a book, but goodness me, come on. What are we up to? We literally have just punched through the hour mark. Oh my goodness me. On Croyable, everybody. So couple of short ones, aren't they all, ladies? And then that'll be it. So cheers, me beers. So we're on to the Beeble honey whiskey again. Smells better than it tastes. Oh, we got some fan mail. Let's just read the fan mail. 2112. What a great album. Right. Castle Hotel, Huntley. The Castle Hotel, a large and stark mansion of 3 stories dating from the middle of the 18th century, was partly built using materials from the nearby medieval Huntley Castle. The mansion was extended in 1832 and became the seat of the Duke of Gordon's eldest son. It is now a hotel, and there are red squirrels in the wooded grounds. The building is said to have a green lady, the ghost of a girl who found herself with a child but no husband. Oh, the beer burp, still apologise. Oh, there, let's get it out. I'm so sorry. The building is said to have a green lady, the ghost of a girl who found herself with a child but no husband, and committed suicide. I think this is going to be the last one for tonight, girls, boys, and germs. No, we'll go down to the bottom of the page 62, and then we'll pick up on that on Sunday night ghost stories on a Sunday. So, slàinte mí bhá. Oh, delicious. Oh, we got some fan mail here. Goodness me. Bear with. Right. Castle Huntly. Built on a steep rock surrounded by flat land, Castle Huntly is a large, tall, and impressive building, enlarged and altered down the years. The Grey family built the tower in 1452 and held the property until 1641, when it went to the Leons of Glamis. There is said to be a tunnel from here to Glamis, and then to the Pattersons in 1777. They owned the castle into the 20th century, but it is now used as an open prison, although rather too open for some. The castle is reputedly haunted by a white lady, the ghost of one of the daughters of the house when the Leons were in possession. Leons or Lions? I think we'll go for Leons. The story goes that the poor girl became pregnant by one of the castle servants and was imprisoned in one of the upstairs chambers, later known as the Waterloo Room. The girl tried to escape out of the window, but fell to her death. Alternatively, she was pushed from the window. Either way, her ghost is then said to have haunted. the Waterloo Room as well as the grounds, especially around the Bogle Bridge in the castle policies. It is recorded that the apparition has often been seen down the centuries, terrifying servants and people spending the night. Again. It is recorded that the apparition has often been seen down the centuries, terrifying servants and people spending the night in the haunted chamber. A second ghost is claimed to be that of a young boy, seen dressed in a double-breasted sailing jacket. He has reputedly been seen in the Waterloo Room, and the story is that in life, he has reputedly been seen in the Waterloo Room, and the story is that in life, the boy was Richard, son of Colonel Adrian Gordon Patterson. Richard drowned in a boating accident on the Tay in 1939. Oh, Richard. Right, we're going to go down to the bottom of page 62 here, and then that'll be it for tonight. This is where we'll pick up on Sunday. So cheers, me beers. Slide. Castle Lachlan. In a pleasant location by the sea, Castle Lachlan is an ancient ruinous stronghold of the MacLachlans and is set in 1,500 acres of estate. The clan were Jacobites and fought at Killiecrankie in 1689 and also took part in the 1715 and 1745 risings. their chief was killed at Culloden. The castle became ruinous after the building of a new house nearby, a large and impressive castellated mansion, which is also called Castle Lachlan. The old castle was said to have had a brownie, possibly a green lady or growlgrack. That's it for tonight. Oh my goodness me. Slange me up. What do you reckon, Derps? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, lovely. Cheers, me beers. Oh my goodness me. I really can't get used to the taste of that Beeble original. Do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take that downstairs and we're gonna put that back on the Welsh dresser where it belongs, because we need to keep that as an emergency for when we run out of booze, quite frankly. That's it for tonight. Goodness me, boys and girls, we have gone up to an hour and 8 minutes. But remember, we are picking up with page 63 on Sunday. So make a note of that. So until then, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Friday night than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories and read alcohol? Come on, folks, you can do better. I can't, but you can do better. So until the next time, as ever, stay safe. It behoves me to say, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night. Oh,